Yes everyone, thank you for tuning in to another video. It's a pleasure as always. Before I crack into the meat of it, I'd just like to say if you've got any thoughts or comments, please share. If you get any value from the video or anything similar, please like and subscribe, show us some love, all the usual hoo-ha. And let's crack into the video. So, in today's video, I'm going to explore how to create mental stability in an unstable world. It does appear that the world is in a bit of a crazy place, has been for a couple of years, but what I've observed is that when you sort of block everything out, as it were, and just focus on yourself, then you realize that it's not, and it's all a little bit of a facade. Now, if you watch the news, if you spend a lot of time on social media, if you take in a lot of media from the outside world, it's gonna, sort of create a lot of mental instability for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's gonna make you worry. Secondly, when you're constantly just getting infiltrated with loads of different, information from different places, it just doesn't help you to stay mentally focused and mentally strong. So, how to create stability in this unstable world. So the first thing is don't watch the news. If I'm feeling a little bit anxious or in a little bit of a depressed phase, if I look at the news, it's always guaranteed to send me into more of a downer. The news is designed to make us drawn to negative ideas because for whatever reason, we tend to be more drawn towards that as human beings. And, with everything that happened over the last couple of years with vid, the vid, if you know what I'm talking about, well, you will know what I'm talking about. It really struck me how much fear-mongering goes on in the news. It's actually quite shocking. And when you dig deep and you do your own research into things, you start to realize that things really aren't how they're dressed up to be. So don't watch the news. The second thing that I would suggest is try and stay away from social media, and if you can, any sort of media stimulation. So I've got many friends who have done something called a Vipassana. Now, if you're not familiar with what that is, a Vipassana is basically a 10-day silent retreat, meditation retreat, where I think you meditate for 12 hours a day. You don't speak to anyone, you don't make eye contact with anyone. Obviously, there's no electronics or anything like that. You're completely closed off from the outside world for 10 days while you meditate for 12 hours a day. And a very good friend of mine has done 6, I believe, and he always tells me when you leave, you just have this mental clarity and focus and stability that nothing else can really bring. Now, if you think about what the word stable means, it means sort of a strong structure that's not going to move, essentially. And if you think about what social media does to your mind and to your energy, it's basically the complete opposite. If you're constantly looking at different things, you're not stable because you're not a fixed structure. Your energy is constantly going everywhere. So another way to sort of really focus on creating that mental stability is to definitely move away from social media. But if you can, stay away from any sort of media, digital media that you're consuming. So on the days where I'm feeling a little bit haphazard, I try to not listen to music, not look at my phone, just read more. Because for me, reading really helps to create that stability. I think because you're having to force your focus onto something. And like I just mentioned, stability is a strong structure. So if you think about your energy and stability, if you're looking at your phone and then you're listening to this, then you're checking the news on the TV, your energy is just all like this, and that's not stable. But if you're on a book and your energy is just magnified onto one point, then that's gonna sort of give you the stability that hopefully, you need, or the mental stability, I should say. And the last thing I'm going to touch on in order to create mental stability is pay attention to what you're eating. Now, you know, everyone's going to be a little bit different, but I'm going to say one thing that's probably not giving you mental stability is if you're consuming foods with a lot of sugar in them, because sugar makes your energy spike and then crash down. So again, I would say this isn't stability. This is stability. And, you know, when you're eating sugar, you're constantly going up and then you're coming down. You know, something else which, you know, I won't personally take this advice is maybe cutting out caffeine as well, or just limiting a little bit. Because again, it's the same sort of thing, isn't it? This is going to be your energy, not stable, not strong and pinpointed, which is, you know, what we all want. Because the more mentally stable you are, hopefully the more optimal your mental health is going to be. In my opinion, anyway. So, you know, how to create mental stability in an unstable world. You know, don't watch the news. Try to really limit any sort of digital media that you're consuming. The more unstable you're feeling, try to decrease the digital media as much as possible. Maybe you like to listen to podcasts, I do, but maybe you figure out one day you sort of need to cut those out. And the second thing is try and avoid caffeine and sugar. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, I hope wherever you are, you're feeling mentally stable today and continue to feel mentally stable for the foreseeable future. Anyway, have a cracking day wherever you are. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.